I don't understand why you have to fight. What was it about this time? But it's fighting and it's not Christian. That park is for everybody. I don't want him fighting like a little gangster. But his father had the same kind of fight in this very neighborhood when he was a boy. That's something you'll never change. What can I do?
But fighting won't change it. It's been this way for so long. Thousands of years for us, David. Of course you didn't do anything. Why? What's the difference, why? You can't change people. It's human nature, I guess. You keep away from the park. Perhaps someday in another neighborhood. What other neighborhood? Shangri-La? That's the way it's always been. I'm only one mother. I can't change the world.
So we can't change the world. It was always thus. Youngsters who say no Jews allowed grow up to this. America only for his kind. No niggers wanted. Keep the Pope out of America. In another country, the same youngster becomes a stormtrooper. Why was German youth taught race hatred? Times were hard. Jobs not to be found. Food not enough. Whose fault? Not our fault, said the rulers of Germany. The Jews, the Reds, the Catholics are robbing you. Hate them. Destroy them. Then you can be rich. The desperate youngster listens. He attacks his newfound enemies on command. His victims are impoverished, but he gains little. Yes, he is fed, while his false leaders feed and fatten on him and his victims. Now the young trooper kills on command. Look yonder, says his leader, rich land. It belongs to the people of Czechoslovakia? No matter. They are not his kind. Therefore, they must be inferior. Therefore, he goes to war to establish the mastery of his race, to make huge profits for his masters. No, he did not get that rich life. The Nazi did not win the world. But who paid the price of our victory? Who did not pay? While we allowed race hate to grow, the haters planned a war against the world. We did not ask, who teaches hatred? Why do they nourish it? For whose benefit? The mothers say there's no use asking. We can't wipe out such hatred. This is human nature. Then let us set the starting date of the next world war. Let us compile statistics. How many of today's children must be tomorrow's legless heroes? This, then, is our future. If we must hate all who are different from ourselves, we must see this, be this, do this again. But must we? Can those mothers be wrong? Can we build a future without this? In many communities of our country, these questions are being asked today. In 1943 and 44, the same questions were heard in every state. In Los Angeles, mobs attacked Mexican-born Catholics. Some citizens asked, isn't there a way to stop this hating? In Beaumont, Texas, white hoodlums stormed the Negro community. Other whites asked, can't we end this blind hate? In Detroit, days of violence brought death to Negro tenants of a government housing project. Union workers and their friends asked, how can we stop this bloodshed? In New York, the same questions were heard. In one neighborhood, a group of parents set out to find the answer. It's a typical American community, though it is part of New York City. A neighborhood like yours, of rich and poor, and mostly in between. In this section, the West Side, businessmen and their families live next door to factory workers. Some streets have been traditionally Jewish for years. Irish families live mainly on other streets. For years, Negroes were the newcomers. Like newcomers in any town, they got the worst of it. Now, families of Puerto Rican origin are the newest additions to the community. In 1943 and 44, the peddlers of race hate did a brisk business in this neighborhood. Many silently bore the lash of prejudice because, well, you can't change human nature. But in 1944, it was no longer a single mother, hopeless and alone. 150 cases of violence against Jewish school children in only 2 months. Gangs beating Negro children on the streets. Walking to school meant beatings, broken arms, bandaged heads. Juvenile delinquents became a commonplace in the courtroom. Wise jurists like Magistrate Anna Cross saw race hate as a source of street wars. She knew children learn this hate. They learn it from adults. Worried parents looked about for help, first to the police. He's worried too. He's Irish, a Catholic. He knows young cops with college degrees who drove trucks before they joined the police force. Catholic, huh? Employers said. Sorry. No jobs open just now. Captain Gaffney knows where prejudice leads. He wants to block that path. How? Police escort for each child? Patrol the parks and playgrounds? Police are doing what they can, but they don't have the whole answer. Police alone can't stop the street beatings. What can the schools do to stop the street wars? Parents don't want to keep their children at home, away from the books and classrooms on which all America builds its hopes, but they want to keep their children safe. Here is David's mother, still not very hopeful, but no longer alone. She has allies. Can the teacher be an ally? Teachers know what's been happening on the streets, even in the school playground. The schools are trying to break down prejudice, but the schools alone can't do it. Parents can do a lot. Children learn prejudice from older persons who say nigger, kike, mick, spick. If parents can get together, perhaps they can defeat race hate. Teachers will help. But parents must learn to overcome their own prejudice. They have to learn to like the people they now hate, despise, make fun of. This first meeting of parents of Public School 179 wasn't very friendly. But whether they like it or not, they must try to know each other. Either they succeed, or they see their children become little brutes or sad little victims. It isn't easy to sit next to the mother whose child attacks your child. No, she can't accept coffee from that mother. But they tried, managed a few friendly words, took the coffee, spoke of a plan to help them work together. They'll need help. They have police and teachers and parents. Who else? Who will help them find the way? They go to their churches. In this neighborhood, his people seem secure. But downtown, uptown, or in your town, his parishioners, like Captain Gaffney, know the humiliation of unearned hatred. Parents in Father Kennedy's church hate intolerance. They fear the spread of hoodlumism. Father Kennedy will join in whatever can be done. Count on him. He'll help. The Negro people know the lash and the rope. Discrimination is their daily bread. Still, they fought and bled for this imperfect democracy. They will fight now by the side of whoever wants peace and brotherhood. Dr. Howard will lend his strength. Call on him. The problem is not new to Rabbi Rosenblum. Too many of his people have suffered and died for no crime. Wherever prejudice is alive, the Jew is pushed toward death. Children of his church are among the first victims of race hate. The rabbi will help in any plan to wipe out such hatred. His parishioners seem the safest of all groups in the neighborhood. the white Protestant American. But is anyone safe? Who was a bystander in the war? Who will be out of reach in the next war? Not Dr. Farber's congregation. He'll join in the job of teaching brotherhood. Judge Cross lives in this community, lends a hand wherever she can help youth learn true democracy. In her courtroom, she sees the twin fruit of prejudice. The smug attacker is as great a problem as the innocent victim. Yes, Judge Cross will help. Businessmen value the peace and security of their community. They'll stand by the parents and teachers, the police and jurists, the clergymen and civic leaders who want brotherhood in the place of hoodlumism and hatred. The Young Men's Christian Association understands the problem of prejudice. The YMCA and its local director, Frank Alexander, will join full strength in any community effort. Arthur Goldstein, West Side leader of B'nai B'rith, pledges the support of his organization. The Holy Name Society will cooperate. James Regan, district president of Holy Name, promises his support, his organization's strength. The American Jewish Congress will give every assistance. Murray Myerson, Congress leader in this community, will help develop a plan of action, help carry it out. The Council of Civic and Fraternal Organizations will support any project for racial unity. Heads of parent-teacher associations join in the swelling movement. Emily McCormick of the New York Public Library accepts a share of the work. All together agree on a program of recreation and educational activities for parents and children of all colors, religions, languages. Where can this program begin? Surely the schools of the neighborhood are the logical place. Miss Mary Dillon, principal of Joan of Arc Junior High School, agrees. Representatives of all the groups meet to shape their plan. They elect Dr. Adele Sikula, physician and civic leader, as chairman of their new united group. Now to work. Who will head the project? How will it be paid for? Will the Board of Education cooperate? The Board of Education could and would cooperate, but its funds are limited. The proposed program would need a director of wide experience, rich understanding, long professional training. That would mean more salary than the Board of Education pays to recreation directors. But the group would not give up its project. They voted to raise the money. Dr. Sikula was sure it could be done, right in their own neighborhood. Mothers from parent-teacher associations visited storekeepers and businessmen of the community. They found a ready response. Here's David's mother again, active and hopeful. She's forgotten that she can't change the world. All together, they raised the money to start their project. A full-time recreation director is installed at Joan of Arc School. Activities for children and parents begin every day at 3 and continue through 10 in the evening. Negro and white, Christian and Jewish, Protestant and Catholic girls make clothes for themselves and for children of war-torn countries. They don't speak of racial unity. They live it a little. Boys of every background, color, religion learn new skills and enjoy it together. A Puerto Rican youngster shares his tools with a boy whose gang used to terrorize a whole street. The embryo gangster has new interests. No time now for beating up kids with darker skins. Mothers meet at a Negro History Week exhibit. Hear a lecture on Negro life. Here's the mother of our young vandal of the park. She's no longer sure things will never change. She has questions, but she's finding a few of the answers. Furthermore, race prejudice isn't natural. That is, children don't naturally have it. Children learn it from older people. Children naturally play happily together. older boys and girls use a converted check room for games. Here you don't ask your partner what church he attends. What's your game? Checkers? Okay, let's find a table. Students and parents play together in the orchestra. A recent citizen, formerly an Austrian, is the conductor. There's a uniformed piccolo player whose ancestors arrived here a few hundred years ago. The flutist beside him arrived here a few years back. His language is Spanish. Parochial school athletes play basketball tournaments with Negro boys from a public school. A YMCA team will play the winner of this game. Next week, a team of veterans plays a union team of factory workers. Parents, students, friends, neighbors sing together, work and play together. No perfect understanding has been reached, but thousands of children and their parents have been reached. In this room sit Negro and white, schoolgirl and housewife, Catholic, Protestant, Jew. The harmony we see is richer than the harmony we hear. Their unity reaches outside this schoolroom, this building. Their unity lives. It spreads. Street wars have ended. In this community, juvenile delinquency has decreased and is still shrinking. They're learning to live together, to make brotherhood part of daily life. Friendliness as natural as milk for children. There's more to do. But what they've done, any parents can do, in any community. Parents can make racial unity a way toward better living for all of us. A way that children may learn from infancy, and parents may teach, along with love of peace and respect for fellow humans. They're doing it in many parts of the city. How is it in your town? Do you live near Freeport, Long Island? Then you know of the murder of 2 Negro soldiers. The reason? Only the color of their American skin. Are there church schools in your city? Is this your community? And in the South, do bus drivers and conductors shoot down your fellow men like this? The answers are all the same. It's still happening. The Ku Klux Klan is alive. The cross of peace and brotherhood is burning in violence and race hatred. You can stop it. It's in your hands, whoever you are, parent, teacher, businessman, worker, policeman, doctor. It's in your hands. You can stop it in your hometown, whoever you are, wherever you are.